she was a peasant girl who heard voices no one else could hear. With no army of her own, no noble blood, and nothing but her faith, she changed the fate of a kingdom before she was even 20 years old. This is the true story of Joan of Arc, a quiet flame in the heart of war. Hello again, and welcome back to this quiet place where history becomes a lullaby. A place where the noise of the world fades, and the soft echoes of the past rise like the candlelight in the dark. Tonight, we'll step gently into 15th century France, into a time of war, of kings and kingdoms, and into the quiet courage of a young girl whose story has never been forgotten. This is the true story of Joan of Arc, a peasant girl who followed her visions and changed the course of a nation. So, settle in, let your thoughts drift like leaves on the wind, and let us begin. Joan was born in the year 1412 in a small village called Domremy in the northeast of France. She was not noble, she owned no sword. Her father was a farmer, her mother quiet and kind. Life in Domremy was simple but hard. The land was rich with green fields and sheep, but above them, the clouds of war had gathered for many years. This was the 100 Years' War, a long and bitter struggle between France and England. Villages were burned. Armies marched across fields that once grew wheat and other crops. But Joan, she listened not for horns, not for horses. She listened for something else. See, she was just 13 when she first said she heard voices. Soft, distant, like wind through the churchyard trees. She believed they came from St. Michael, and later from St. Catherine and St. Margaret. They told her she had a task, not to pray, not to flee, but to save France. By the time she was 16, Joan left her village. She wore simple clothes, her hair was short, and she carried with her a message for a king who had not yet been crowned. Charles VII, heir to the French throne, was hiding in a town called Chinon. Joan rode there, across dangerous lands, through quiet villages that had never seen a girl on such a mission. She told the king she had been sent by heaven to see him crowned in Reims. Most laughed, some were afraid, but Charles listened, and slowly, so did others. She was tested by scholars, examined by priests, and in time, instead of looking down on her, they gave her armor, a suit of white, silver, bright in the sun, and a banner, not a sword, to carry before her in battle. In 1429, the city of Orléans was under siege by the English. Joan arrived with the French army, not to fight, but to inspire. And what followed was nothing short of miraculous. The French, long demoralized, began to rally. With Joan at their side, they pushed the English back. Within only 9 days, the siege was lifted. A turning point, a flame rekindled in the heart of France. Joan's presence alone, her belief, her vision, her quiet strength, changed everything. Later that year, she walked beside Charles VII as he was crowned in Reims. The girl from Domremy had fulfilled her mission, but peace would unfortunately not follow. Joan continued to support France's cause, but in 1430 she was captured by the Burgundians, allies of the English. She was handed over and placed on trial, not for war, but for hearsay, for wearing men's clothes, for claiming she had heard divine voices. She was only 19. The trial lasted for months. The charges were many, but through it all, Joan remained calm. She never denied what she heard. She never betrayed her truth. On May 30th, 1431, she was taken to the marketplace in Rouen, and there she was burned at the stake. Witnesses said she asked for a cross, and as the flames rose, she called out the name of Jesus, until her voice could no longer be heard. Years passed, and slowly, the world began to understand. In 1456, a second trial declared her innocent. Her name was restored, and in 1920, she was made a saint. Today, Joan of Arc is remembered not for the wars she walked through, but for her courage, for her certainty in times of chaos, and for following a voice that no one else could hear. As you lie here tonight, let her story be a gentle reminder that even in the darkest times, a quiet heart can light the way. That faith in something greater, or simply in yourself, can carry you farther than fear. And that sometimes, the softest voices in the world, they are the bravest of them all. Thank you for joining me tonight. If this story brought you peace, there are many more waiting in the quiet pages of history. Sleep well, traveler, and may your dreams be guided by light. Good night.